comments. Hello, hello. How is everyone? Let me see who's in here. Miss Eve, I seen you in here earlier. Thank you, sweet lady. I'm about to sneeze. Thank you for being here. Thank you for dropping the links. Hi, Angie's Life. How are you? Witchy Mama, how are you? How is everyone? How is everyone? Move that so I can see. Hey, Aussie, how are you? Good to see ya. Sorry I haven't been live this week. I had a lot going on this week. Now my nose wants to itch. Maybe everybody's coming to see me now, huh? How are y'all? How's your week been? Is your weather changing? Miss Eve, Witchy Mama, yes. Hello, Miss Aussie. It is so good to see you. Angie's Life is here. Let me go back up here where she's at. There she is. Saying hi to everybody, Witchy Mama. Yes, there's Wolfie. Wolfie is here. She's in the house. Present and counted for. Very good. Present and counted for. High lows 60s today. It is now 45 here now. It was pretty windy today and chilly, I have to say. Oh, you're out by the fire in the backyard? Nice. So you get to view me by firelight. We are getting a freeze warning for tomorrow night. The next 2 nights we are getting a freeze warning. And for us here, that is cold. Cold and misty. Hope it doesn't snow. Oh my goodness. Yeah, snow. We're not expecting snow, but it's supposed to be under 32. So that's cold here for Louisiana. That's cold. Yes, yes. So I was going to go live like Monday or Tuesday. Well, no, it was going to be like Wednesday, actually. But my husband had a wreck. And so Sunday afternoon or evening. So I've been dealing with that all week. So it just threw everything out. I couldn't do a thing. I was just doing that all week. You'll send some heat over? Okay. I could probably use it. I come out here to my studio and, I have my cats are out here because they can't be in the house with the bird and the dogs. And I turn the heater on and they're all like laid up to the heater like I've been freezing them. Like it ain't just been 90 degrees outside and we had the air on. Now it's like 30 something degrees and they think, oh, the heat's on. So now let's just pile on top of it because now she's freezing us to death. It's the cats, there. He is okay. He is. Thank you, Witchy Mama. What happened was okay. So I live in the country. I'm very country where I live. And we have a highway that we live off of, but it is just a 2-lane highway. And it's this way used to be the old way, like that you would go like to different towns, bigger towns, but we actually have an interstate now. So this is the old route that people would take long ago. And it's just 2 lanes. And I live off of that road. And so my husband, we had done some stuff at the fire department and I had already come home and he was taking a left. He had stopped to take a left turn, which would take him into our driveway. So he had stopped to take a left turn in our driveway. So he had to yield to oncoming traffic. And there was 2 teenagers behind him. and they were looking down. They said at a grocery list, but I know it was the phone. And by the time they looked up, it was already too late. And they rear-ended him, knocked him down through the ditch, and I have a pretty deep ditch, into our yard. And so I did have him taken by ambulance because his leg was hurting, and he's had 4 knee surgeries from being in the Marine Corps. So I made him go. They chose not to go. I wasn't really concerned about them anyway. But his leg was okay. He just had a really deep bruise across, that your shin bone, like, because his leg went underneath the dash of the truck. And it's a Toyota Tacoma, so it was little. So he's fine. He's okay. But I've been dealing with, the truck is definitely totaled because the rear end came loose or the tailgate. The whole back end of the truck came loose from the cab. So it's definitely going to be totaled. But, you have to get rental cars and you have to, and I'm not using my insurance. I'm making them pay for everything. Everything I'm making them pay for. So back and forth, rental cars and doctor's appointments and making sure all that crap goes through. So roaring fire and freezing weather. Ooh, that sounds good. Yes, he's okay. We were blessed. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to complain too much because we are blessed. It could have been much worse, but it's just all the stuff that comes around with the rest of it, because it won't be over just once we get our new vehicle. Then we got payments, and I mean, it's like a never-ending thing. Hi, just me. Glad you're here. Okay. All right, Aussie. Yes, I'm glad everybody's here. But that's been my week. And then, Wolfie, I want you to know. I almost sent you Jay. Yeah, high speed crash. Yeah, she was going probably 55 to 60 miles an hour when she hit him. Yes, that is a blessing. And I'm not trying to sound ungrateful. I'm just kind of aggravated because it's one of those preventable accidents. I don't call it an accident. I call it a wreck. It was preventable. So that's what aggravates me, and it could have been so much worse because I live in the country, like I said, and this is cotton bale season, and this is hay bale season, and this is when all the tractors and the grain trucks are finally ending their harvest season. So you've got, there's a cow pasture behind me and a hay field beside me and a cornfield on the other side of me. So there's trucks hauling in and out of here on a daily basis. All around me. She could have hit anything but a little Toyota. She could have hit a tractor. She could have hit a cotton bale hauler. She could have hit a cattle hauler. She could have went underneath anything. She is so fortunate that it was only my husband's Toyota, Yeah, it was just it's senseless, just not paying attention. Just not paying. Yeah. Just not paying. Hello, Candy Cane. Did you say something before that? Did I miss something? Ugh. See, do y'all hear that truck right there? Ridiculous. Candy Cane. I don't know. No, better not be Candy Cane. Oh, so let me tell you what Jay did. He is such a little did you see the Arizona case where the dad pled guilty when daughter died from being? Yes, I seen that. Witchy Mama. Did they ever say what happened to him? Did they ever say what happened to him? Because I seen that not too long ago. Miss Cher's in the house. I seen that too long ago. Hi, Miss Smith. Welcome, welcome. So, what Jay, my donkey, did was last night we were sitting down to eat supper. If not that, if oh, oh, I get you. Big rigs. Oh, got you. Okay, yeah, got you now. Got you now. Um, yeah, we were sitting down to eat supper last night and got a knock at the door, and the man said, your horses are out. Mind you, our horses have not gotten out in the 11 years that we have lived here. So we go running outside, and he's like, one is over here all the way close to the road. Well, of course, it was the donkey. I heard it was self-inflicted. Well, oh, okay. That wouldn't surprise me either, Witchy Mama. That's not a surprise. A shock. Yeah. That's not a surprise. Yeah. Thank you, Eve, for dropping that. And so we go out there, and he's running back this way, and somehow he had the chain had wiggled. We're assuming it was Jay because he's so ingenious like that. Anyway, the link on the chain had been busted, and so we assume that Jay was leading the pack because he was over there. He was the furthest away, so we assumed that he was leading the pack. So my husband had to go out by the road and start walking this way, and I just opened the gate and started calling for him, and they come running in. So, no, the donkey Jay, baby Jay, that's my horse. That's my donkey. He's and Wolfie loves him. I'm always sending her pictures of him because she loves my donkey. So, yeah. So we figured he was the one that helped him escape because he was the furthest away. But we got them all back in. We got them all. I just my husband just clapped his hands, and I opened the gate and clapped my hands, and they came running around. They all went in it like a herd just at the same time. The man's like, well, that was easy. I thought it was going to be harder. I'm like, no, they listen. It's just, I don't know what got into them. And then they were doing laps around the pasture. So we're like, okay. So I don't know. I'm guessing they were just sowing their oats or something. Yeah. You want a donkey? They're a hot mess. Or mine is anyway. He's something. He's real sweet though. My donkey is. He's real sweet. So, but yes. Had a what? An ostrich. I was scared, and I don't scare easily, but an ostrich running towards you make you. Yeah, they're pretty big when they start, and you can hear them running too. They can be mean though. Ostriches can be mean. They can be mean. There's a farmer that lives, it's about 30 miles from me, and he has an emu. And that thing is probably, it's got to be 15 or 20 years old now because he's had it forever. I guess, yeah, like I didn't have enough this week. Excitement. I needed some more, right? Trying to make sure everything. Right. Well, everybody was getting their exercise, including us, who ran out of the house to go make sure that they were, put away. For the ostriches, Witchy Mama? Yeah, I heard that the ostriches can be mean. Yeah, I did hear that. So big. And, those are small compared to, back in the day when the prehistoric birds. Can you imagine, if you think an ostrich is scary, can you imagine the birds from like that walked the earth but they didn't fly way back? I cannot. I'd probably just faint. If they came after me, I'd probably just pass out. Yeah, you don't have to do it. My horses, oh yeah, if you shake the feed bucket, they gonna come running because they love to eat. They don't care if you fed them 10 times a day. They love to eat. Yeah. But turkeys, Scare me. Oh, now turkeys can be mean. My grandma used to have some turkeys, and turkeys can be mean. They can. Gang mentality. Yeah, that's true. They can be mean. Yeah, they can be mean. Yeah. I was afraid of crows too. Yeah. Hitchcock. Dang self. Yeah, I did hear well, I have seen several people just show, videos of ostriches being mean. And I think emus can be pretty mean too. There is a girl on TikTok, and I can't remember the name of her farm, but she's got emus, and I think his name's Emmanuel. I think that's the emu's name. And he's not really mean, but she shows videos of him all the time. He's funny. What? That's true. I have. They can kick the mess out of you. Yeah. They're probably as bad as a horse kicking you because they've got, talons on their feet. So tonight, let me look at my video. I'm going to pop over here to this video for just a second. This is going to be Conrad's cam footage after leaving Nate's house. So we're going to see Conrad, who is the lead detective in the Chris Watts case. He did, I don't know, because I didn't get to dive deep into him as far as him investigating it, but I remember that he kind of aggravated me because I didn't think that he did enough of an investigation. And then I had been told at one point that he really took it hard. So I don't know which part of that is true, but the impression I got was that he wasn't doing, like, there was a bag on the ground or on the floor by the stairs that he just took Chris Watts' word for what was in it. And so I would have never done that. I would have put the bag into evidence. I would have said, okay, this needs to go to evidence. This, even if it had turned out to be nothing, I still would have said that. So I really wasn't thrilled with him at the beginning of the case, but I really didn't delve into what kind of a detective he was because the case wasn't very long. But this is going to be his cam footage, his body cam, or the body cam footage of him. So you're going to get to see him in here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, razor sharp. Yep. Yeah. You need the farmer to shoot a pew-pew in the air and holler and it stops. Meanwhile, I'm in soaking pants and trying to explain to my foster parents why my clothes are messed up. All they care. Oh, they wondered why your pants were messed up. They didn't care that you almost got, attacked by an ostrich. Right? Gosh. Never knew that as a kid, right? You would be like I'm saying, if you ever go to these, like we went to a museum at Table Rock, in up there by Branson, and there's a museum you can go into, and it's about the Native Americans that settled that land, and it shows you all of the animals that had came through there before, us humans took over and everything. And there was like a giant size sloth. That thing was, I was like, oh my God. If I seen some of this stuff coming at me, like giant birds, I'm like, I think I just pass out where I was at. I just pass out. I would just pass out. To run in a zigzag from alligators. Yeah. Come to be an adult. That's the worst thing. Well, I mean, alligators are fast. I mean, they're just gonna, just, my best advice is don't put yourself where an alligator's at. You don't have to worry about running from them. You're in at home on Table Rock. Isn't Table Rock beautiful? It is so beautiful. I love Table Rock is beautiful. I wouldn't want to live there. It's too big for me. I can't be in big places, but they have, if you go out there, there's a museum out there, and it is awesome. And it's just got those creatures, that saber tooth and different things that have there. It like freaked me out. I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't live during that time. Yeah, they have a lot of stuff out there that's really, yeah. It's pretty up there, but I just wouldn't want to live up there. All right, we are going to go over here, and I want to thank everyone for coming. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for joining me tonight. I thought I'd come a little early, just because I got to get up in the morning and do some more stuff for the rec. So I thought, well, I'll do it tonight early, and it's better than not getting to do it at all, you know. Hello, Florida. Why would they tell us to run? I don't know. I guess it was just something to tell you. I mean, I can't give you no other valid reason for it. Was they had nothing else to say, so they told you that. Yeah, they do. Yep. The area we went through, they had like, you could take a golf cart, like I think like 4 of you could ride in it, and you could go down and through the rock and the waterfalls and stuff that where they had settled. And during Christmas, I guess they have these giant wire animals and they're different animals that were in the area, like wolf, bear, saber tooth, and they're all lit up. They light them up at Christmas, and they are huge. I bet it is so pretty up there. Yes, say like to the like button. Zigzag is just going to ensure it catches you. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, with gators, I just would not. I just would not, because they are so fast. They are just so fast. Okay, let's see. Let's go over here. Let me put it up here first. There we go. And this is Miss Kim's. This is her video. Let me get it back up here. So if somebody can drop Miss Kim's channel link. Thank Miss Unjustified for using her stuff again. She has such great content on okay, that's fine. Share just whenever you can. If you can't, I understand. I get it. I totally get it, because I don't know if you're off work yet or just got off work, but yeah, I get it. No problem. No problemo, my friend. All right. Let's go over here and let's listen to, now this is Conrad. This is the detective that is over the case. There you go. Share Mama Kim's channel. Yep. Okay, here we go. And make sure everybody can hear it. Let me know. I'll pop over to StreamYard and make sure y'all can hear it.
Welcome to Unjustified, where we always cover the truth, the facts, the good, the bad, the ugly, on an unbiased and sometimes very unpopular opinion. If you're not already a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe now and hit the notification bell, and that way you will receive all of our upcoming videos. Thank you so much for being here, and we do hope you enjoy today's video.
2825 Saratoga Trail of a party who's checking on a...
Before it keeps going, can y'all see it and hear it before I keep going? Because this is the 911 call too. That came in also for the case. And I believe Miss Kim, I believe she's from Alabama. Cher might correct me if I'm wrong. I think she's from Alabama. I think Miss Kim is from Alabama. Hear it and see it well? Okay, good. Walking in, it will forever creep me out. Yes. I know. Yes. See, I've always thought that she looked down and didn't see the girls in their bed. That's what I always thought. I always thought when she looked down at her phone, because she could see the kids in the bed. You know, they had cameras where she could see the kids in the bed, and I don't think she's seen the girls in the bed. And I think, or something was wrong. Like she looked at them in the bed and they didn't look right. And that's what I think. Now I could be wrong, but that's what I think about that. But it will always creep me out too. Hi Claudia, welcome from Alabama. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Did she see NK? See, and that's another thing she could have seen too. Because the last live I had, we were going through this, I don't know what you would call this room. It was the room that was off of I would call it the family room, and it was the room that was off of the kitchen. That creepy doll was in the corner over there, and I didn't know it the first time I saw, like, I didn't connect the two. The very first time we were watching all this, I didn't see her in that corner. And then I seen her the last live I had, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is the doll that they laid across the couch and put the blanket over. And I'm like, so that doll was standing in there with the toys where they were playing. And that was just creepy as hell to me. She has ideas of someone else because she's watching his payments. Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she knew it didn't cost that much money for somebody to eat. Okay with you, Mama. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, she knew there was somebody. She knew that before she came back from her trip she was on. She knew. Bless her heart. She knew.
Friend who's pregnant, who's not answering the door. Around. Searching for the Project 91. It looks like the friend, RP dropped the friend off at 2 o'clock this morning. Last talked to her, said that the husband was taking the kids for a play date, but she thinks that's not true because the vehicle's in the garage with the car seats. Nobody answering the door or her phone. No. Searching for the tree.
981.
Project 981.
Stage medical. This female is diabetic. Unknown if she is home, though. Husband is on his way.
Claudia, I think, can everybody hear? Claudia said she can't hear, but can everybody? I thought that y'all had said earlier you could hear. Did something happen? Can everybody else hear? Maybe Claudia has her thing on. Sometimes I hit my mute thing and don't know that I've hit it. I hear it fine. Okay. It may be something, maybe Claudia's phone or something. Okay, here we go.
Dispatch Frederick 983.
Frederick 983.
If you show me out, PD, still attached.
1601.
981, change my location.
Frederick 981.
It's 6331 Steeple Rock Drive.
1601.
981, 988. Do you need any more help? Over here.
Dispatch on 815, I'll be clear.
1606. Frederick 981.
You preempt me. Catch me to 771 Lincoln. Clear out Sam. Reattach me.
1608. Frederick 981, dispatch. Are you still at the Steeple Rock location?
I'm canvassing the area now.
1508. District 981, dispatch status units on scene.
Still recording stuff.
Yep. I went through this.
This one is that.
I believe that is his. Baum overtook hers. That's for vomiting.
Is that a diary or what is that?
It's for work, I believe. I was thinking it was possibly a diary, but it's talking about kind of like motivation stuff. I think they're around 4-ish. They're pretty young.
Who's got asthma?
I don't know. Kids need medication too, and apparently she didn't take their medication either.
West. This is all the medication.
No mom is going to leave without their kids' medication. I'm just, they're just not. They're going to think they may leave their own, but they're not going to leave, without their children's medication, especially if it's something that they have to have. In my opinion, they're just not.
That's the kid.
That's the kid.
Mm-hmm.
That's albuterol, the nebulizer.
Yep. I did. Yeah.
See, I'd have been doing what he's doing too. I'd have been doing that too. I can't imagine that they were so clean that he took her down those steps without any evidence left. It's kind of hard to believe. Well, don't touch it. Yeah, I think he's suspicious too. But as a police officer, you know, in his position, he can only say what he feels, and if they don't follow up on it, you know, or they don't follow his instincts, then I would be that nosy too. I think he did a good job checking out the steps. That makes me sad.
I looked at the sheets and the comforters. I don't see anything. It's kind of odd nothing's on the bed, though.
Oh, that wasn't on there?
No, this was on here.
It was on there?
No.
What was it on there?
It was like, we found it like this. I looked at these. There's no... He said when he left, she was in bed sleeping.
In bed sleeping?
Mm-hmm.
And if Nicole hadn't have called to say she was worried about her friend, they would have come back and probably made the bed and made everything look like she just made the bed and left, you know, but they didn't have time to do that because Nicole called in a wellness check, and that threw them off of finishing everything. Because in my opinion, I feel like somebody was going to go back there and finish cleaning that up and fixing everything before they said that she was missing. That's just my opinion. Yeah, they would. Yep, would have covered their tracks better. Yep. That's why her cell phone was just shoved in the couch up there. They had other plans for that, and it just got. Yeah. Yep. Thank God for Nicole because I'm sure Shanann had told her that she thought that he was seeing somebody else, and I feel like Nicole had already saw somebody over there, even though they were trying to like be discreet and keep people from seeing it. I think Nicole still figured it out, and Shanann probably had her watching, and I know that I have a feeling that Nicole's seen them together or something, and you know, kind of course told Shanann. So I think Nicole had seen them. Yeah. Because I think Shanann asked her to watch, you know, and see. And I can see, you know, her wanting to do that because she didn't know what was going on. So I can kind of see her having somebody say, hey, you know, her friend say, hey, just, you know, I hate to put you in this position, but would you do it for me? You know what I mean? So, yeah, she knew. Probably by the way he acted too when he came back to get them in North Carolina and then came back. She probably felt it, like you're saying. She probably felt it. Oh, there we go.
The only thing that are missing are the kids' blankets. What's that? The only thing that's gone is the kids' blankets, like their binkies. That's the only, they won't go anywhere without them. They are gone? Yep. Car seats are in the car. Keys are in the or on the center console of the car. Her cash, all of her ID, everything's still here. Phone's here.
Binkies and blankies are gone.
Well, just the blanket, their safety blankets were, you know, their little safety net blankets are gone. They don't go anywhere without them. Kids' bedrooms. And this was locked. You open it up, let us look in here. He said they keep it locked so the kids don't come in here and make a mess. Yeah. The bathroom between them was locked. He did unlock it and let us look in there. Which door? This one? Both of them. They lock them both so the kids don't get in there and get into stuff. He said he left it unlocked before and they got in with like Vaseline and made a huge mess. Pillows, lock them in. It's actually a pretty good idea. She's a stay-at-home mom, but she works from home. And she does all the work through her phone. Her phone was on this couch.
Which makes no sense.
On this couch.
If you are a stay-at-home mom and you work from home, why would you leave your only source of money on the couch? I think they use the one downstairs when they're awake. There's one downstairs I think that they use. But I think during the day they keep that one up there locked so they don't go in and make a mess. I mean, I guess. They are pretty. But she did everything through her phone. She would not leave her phone. If she was leaving, why would you leave your only source of communication, of money? That's how she got into her bank account. That's how she did everything. You wouldn't leave your phone. Yeah, you would not leave it. Not unless you were incapable of taking it with you. Then you would leave it. You know, that's my opinion. Yeah. She has an office there. And they destroyed it. That was my other thing. The office was destroyed, and I'm like, they need to think about it. They go into this house that's perfectly clean. Everything has a place, everything's in its place. And they walk into this office and it's destroyed. So, sorry about that. They walk into the house and that office is destroyed. Nobody's going to keep that house that immaculate and then go in an office and it be totally destroyed because they were in there looking for something. And I don't mean the law enforcement. I think Chris and NK were in there looking for something. So that should have told them. The other thing is, you're not going to have an immaculate house and then one room just be a wreck. That doesn't make sense. They were looking, I have to say, they were looking really hard in the beginning. And I just have a feeling that some of the stuff that maybe they found, it was covered up. Because we don't get a trial because he pleads guilty. So all of the stuff that they did find, all the evidence they did find, only evidence we know of that they found was what we seen, like her clothes and sheets and stuff like that. Other than that, we don't know the evidence that was found in the house because there's not a trial. We don't get to hear it. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Makes you kind of sick, don't it? The basement was like, wow, that was really, I wish I try to keep things organized too, but that was organized. She should have done that for a living. Go in and organize people's houses. She probably would have made money doing that.
Turned off.
Wolfie, I think that a lot of the stuff is sealed. I know, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it's all still sealed. There were certain things that were sealed in this case. I probably need to look that up and see what was sealed and what wasn't. I have to figure that out. I might can contact Miss Kim and see if she could tell me too what was sealed and what wasn't sealed. But at one point, I don't know if it's still that way, but it was supposed to be sealed for like 50 years. You couldn't get into it for 50 years. I don't know if what all. Now, I do know that people have went over the autopsies of Shanann and the kids. I know there have been channels that have went over those and read over them. I do know that has happened because I remember seeing some channels that actually read over the autopsies and told you the injuries and stuff. But I don't know what exactly was sealed and what wasn't sealed. So I would really have to check into that and see what. And I think that was under one of his, I guess one of the, I don't know how to put it correctly, like one of the things that he agreed to or he asked for. I don't know how you can ask for anything when you're guilty of such heinous things, but was that it be sealed. So I don't know if he asked for it to be sealed, the family asked for it to be sealed, or the DA asked for it to be sealed. But something at some point was sealed in this case, and I can't remember what it was. It's been a while. So I have to check into that. Yeah. For like 50 years. I think it was like for 50 years. But I will do some reach on, but I'll do some reach on it. I'll do some research on it and try to check that out next week and see if I can find something.
I did not. Well, I walked around initially trying to look in. I didn't see anything out of place, but I was more focused on looking in, not at the yard. Come on. Come on.
Poor Dieter.
I jumped out in the window wells, trying to look in the windows. Nothing. Because at first they said she's diabetic, so I was thinking maybe she's passed out. So I was trying to get in, but then... Did he show up? He finally, yeah, he showed up. Because they called him and said, get your ass home. So I'm trying to get, like, the garage door opener key. He said that didn't work. He said the button thing doesn't work. Garage door is pretty much shut down.
Then he came home and let you in?
He came home and let me in.
What doesn't work? The garage door?
He said the password on the outside, the code one, doesn't work.
Can you close it from the outside?
I don't know.
Well, we need to figure it out.
It hasn't been closed since I've been here.
The front door was locked, right?
I think he hit.
And in my opinion, the reason that they don't have him taking her out the front is because he took her out of the back. That's why. That's my opinion, though. I think he took her out of the back. All files, documents that have been released, like the 3 terabytes of information was sent. Yeah, that is a lot. Now, they might have released it. They might not have sealed it. Something might have happened and they might not have sealed it. Okay. I knew they were sealed at some point, and I remember them talking about 50 years, but maybe they didn't maybe they didn't keep their end of it, or maybe they're like, yeah, you can ask that, but that's not going to allow. We're not going to do that, you know. I know, poor Dieter.
Get his garage door opener when he got here. Front door was locked.
Was the deadbolt locked?
The top deadbolt, you could open it like 3 inches and it locks.
Okay. So
She had to go out the garage because this door is closed and locked. Has a slider lock. So she had to leave through the garage.
Come here, pups.
There's a house right on Steeple Rock. I might have really good video, but they're not home. Because it's aiming towards London Hill and Steeple Rock. Right next door, he's got it, and it aims this way. It hits between, there's a tree and the garage. So at 527, Chris goes out, gets his truck, backs into the driveway.
And what time was that?
527 this morning. He said he had to load up a bunch of tools. Neighbor said he never does that. He normally just grabs his backpack or whatever and walks out to the car, throws it in and leaves. This morning he backs in, and it's on video at 527. But he backs like into the garage partially because you can't see like the tailgate area, so you can't see what he's loading. You don't see him loading anything up. And I mean, if you look in the back of the truck, it's so full of stuff. There's no room to put anything.
And we watched the rest of the video to see if anything came after that?
Yeah, he watched it and he said there's nothing. He said it's really good. It'll pick up any kind of carb movement, but it never at 148 when your RP drops her off, it doesn't pick her up pulling in. It doesn't see the wife getting out. It just picks her up backing up and leaving. So it's kind of choppy. She could have left. So I'm just trying to get more video to. What?
5 and 3-year-old girls.
Yeah. Come on, let's go outside.
He's like, I'm not going outside. I know. See, there's that doll. Let's go back. And you see, coming up here, you're going to see that doll. And that doll is the doll that they laid down on the couch and covered up with a blanket and sent the picture to Shanann. And she's like, I don't know what this means. Why would you do that? And he's like, well, the kids are just playing. That's no. So watch the doll. You'll see it in, if you're looking at, well, as I'm looking at the screen, it's in the right hand side. Right there. Did you see it? Let's see. Right there. Did you see the doll? It's right there. There she is. And they lay that on the couch and they cover it up like it up, its face up and down, and send a picture to Shanann like that. Have to find the, see if I can find that picture.
Well done.
see the pink blanket that's in there? It's a pink blanket in there, and I believe a sheet. Yeah, it's a big doll. I'm pretty sure that is a sheet and a pink blanket in there, or that could be, there's also a bag that she sends him a book that she wants him to read while he's in North Carolina. She's in North Carolina and he's at home. And she sends him a book. It's about on relationships. That could be the book. I can't remember because I think it was in a pink bag. And he just left it in the bag and threw it in the trash can. He didn't even attempt to read it. Shit.
I didn't check the trunk of this. What? On August 10th for Chris. Yeah. Code 4.
See if that one's something latched.
I've tried to open it from the outside.
Press that thing on.
Yeah, he was already checked out. Yeah, no opener on the single door. Yeah.
I see.
See, that is Shanann's office, if I'm not mistaken. I have to wait till he turns around. And you see that it's not a mess. It's not a mess. Wait until he turns around, and let's see if it's in this one or the other one that it's not a mess. I have to look and see if he looks down at the ground. Yeah, she was organized. You're right. And she walked.
You're fine.
You're fine, he said.
You said when you left this morning, she was in bed
Yes.
with the blankets and stuff on the bed?
Yes, there were. She might have wanted to wash them just because she would just go back from the airport last night. She just climbed in bed, just frustrated from the airport. Usually what she does. They wanted me to.
What shoes does she normally wear? Is those flip-flops?
She has flip-flops there. She has flip-flops in her office. She has a whole shoe closet in there.
Okay.
Such a smart aleck. She has a whole shoe closet. The dog went to Dieter first went to live with the, and I don't know if we'll get to see them in some of the videos that we do, but there was a couple friend of theirs that Chris stayed with that night. That the night he said he couldn't stay in the house because he just couldn't be in there because it was too quiet. He stayed with them, and they had Dieter for a little while, but now Dieter is with Shanann's brother, Frankie Jr. He now has Dieter, so Dieter is with her family. Yeah. Yep. Right. Right. He had to have done it. And she wouldn't have left it stripped anyway. She would probably, there's probably no set of sheets to put on there, you know. And she would have stripped the bed and made the sheets and made it and fixed it back. She would have not. And if she stripped it like that, she would have been there like, you know, well, I'm washing the sheets and then I'll put them right back on. I just don't feel like that's not something she would have done. She wouldn't have done that. She would have put the extra sheets on or washed them and then put them back on there. Or she wouldn't have even cared about stripping the bed if she's leaving. Why even worry? She wouldn't have stripped the bed. She probably would have made it and walked out the door. You know what I mean? Why even worry about stripping the bed? He said it was because she'd been at the airport and she was too tired the night before to take a shower, so she just went to bed, and she would get up in the morning and strip the sheets because she was in the airport. And now the sheets had airport on them, so she would take them off the bed and wash them, which I could see that. But, you know, if she's leaving, she's not going to care that the airport's on the sheets, you know. In my opinion, you know, if she was really leaving, she would say, I'll make the bed and leave it. You know, I'm not going to care that the sheets have airport on them.
You have no idea where she would go.
All the friends that I know,
You contacted them.
contact. If there's other I know of. I mean, there could be people that I don't know.
Do you know how many credit cards she actually has?
Credit cards, no.
Chris don't know nothing about the money because she don't trust him with it.
Taxi cab and limousine.
He really don't know what to do with himself. He really wasn't expecting to have to call friends. You know, he really wasn't thinking he was going to have to call like friends and find out where she's at. He thought he had more time. You know what I mean? He thought he had more time to hide things. He wouldn't be answering this. He would still be answering these questions because they're still going to ask him where does he think she might have gone? But there's certain stuff that he could have avoided, you know, had Nicole not been worried about her friend. And so she really was key to putting a damper on him and I'll say it, in my opinion, in case plans to get away with, because I don't think, you know, everybody's like, well, why did he drop them in a place where they would first go to look and be easily found? In my opinion, he didn't think they would look there, for one thing. He didn't think they would look. They wouldn't think to go there because why would she think to go there? You know. And the other thing is, Survey was supposed to be closed down. They weren't going to be using that site anymore, so it was supposed to be closed down and then removed. So there were rumors that they were going to blow it up because the couple of days before there was a leak that Chris Nim had to go take care of at the site. And so there might have been a thought of blowing it up, and with them being there, they wouldn't have found them because they would have blown up with Survey 319. That could have been a thought, and that was one of the things going around. It was a possibility because it's weird that he would take them there, and that's where he was. That was one of the main places he worked. But I think they had other plans for taking her there, and they didn't work. So I think Nicole, in my opinion, was really key in putting a damper on things for them.
Most recent one on the chase is the taxi cab and limousine company, $15.36.
When?
August 12th.
Did they say where?
No, it says the merchant known as taxi cab and limousines.
Now, where does she normally go to the doctor?
So, with it's in Erie, right off the Erie Parkway, there's a doctor's office over there. Yeah, right off, like, right behind CVS over there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a doctor's office right there. Beirut? Beirut. That's her main doctor. But as far as the one who's going to be, I'm not sure.
How would you not know your wife's doctor?
And it didn't say what taxi cab company it was or anything?
That was very vague.
Did you hear him say that she took a taxi cab? I have to go back to that.
And it didn't say what taxi cab company it was or anything?
That was very vague.
Taxi cab.
I'm just listening again.
And it didn't say what taxi cab company it was or anything?
That was very vague.
Hmm. I don't remember hearing that the first time. Was that he said she took a taxi cab?
August 13th, $27 at Target. Next.
Which credit card is this?
USA.
And you guys have the same?
It's the same account.
And that's just when it's pulling out of your account, or the purchase was today?
It's pulling out of that same account.
So probably a couple days ago then.
Why don't you ask Chris the card he used for him and his woman at the restaurant the other night? Because Shanann asked him. Why don't you see what card that was on? Let's see. Poor Dieter.
You go back out there with them.
Oh, it's up totally up to you. You want to stay in there, you can stay in there.
See, he don't even want to. He don't even want to stay in there. He don't even want to stay in the house. He just asked him, "Do you want me to stay in here?" And he's like, "It's up to you. You can stay in or go outside." Because he don't even want to stay in there. He's like feeling guilty because he's got to sit in there and all the memories are there and everything. I mean, Shanann's everywhere. And then he knows what he did, so he don't even want to stay in there. And it ain't because he misses her, it's because of what happened, of what he did in there. We'll go back and listen to him say it to him again. Because it's real awkward for Chris because he's not saying anything. He's looking at his notes and he's not saying anything to Chris, and Chris can't stand it. Watch him.
You go back out there with them.
Oh, it's up totally up to you. You want to stay in there, you can stay in there.
See, he don't want to be in there. Hey, Ladybug. Yeah, this is part of the police cam footage. This is Conrad's cam footage after leaving Nate's house. So they did some, cam footage in the house, and they went to Nate's, and then they came back. That's what this is from. Thank you for coming in, Ladybug. I know, Ladybug. It's amazing how it didn't last, very long as far as solving it or arresting someone for it. But it has just taken over because for it to be such a short-winded case and to not take very long, it has got so much information and so many videos done on it. And so many YouTubers that took it apart and, dissected it and everything, that it's just, this case has so much footage on it, different aspects of looking at it. Because we haven't even got to the dogs yet. We haven't made it there yet. Hi, Ronnie. How are you? It is. This case is something. And I wanted to go back over it. I actually seen another creator starting to go back over it. So I was like, well, I wonder if something has come up about it, because that's when you normally see things, people start talking about it, is when something comes up about it again. But I just wanted to review it again and talk about it again because I didn't get to do it the first time. I just followed it, with other creators, but I didn't have my own channel at the time, so I didn't get to talk about it. I know. Yep. You're right. We didn't get the whole truth. I 100% agree with you, Ladybug. We did not. And that's what we were talking about earlier, was there was no trial. So we don't know what evidence they do have, because there was he pled guilty. So there wasn't a trial. So we don't know. And that's one of the reasons he did that, was so we wouldn't know all the evidence. We wouldn't know exactly what had happened. He wouldn't have to answer all those questions. And he didn't want to implicate NK in it, which, she surely would probably have been in the trial. He was saving her too, in my opinion. So Yeah, you're 100%. I agree. 100% I agree. There's probably so much that we won't ever know what they found, like the stuff they found in the house. We've seen some of it, but we probably won't know all of it. We probably won't know all of it because there was not a trial. Yeah. It is. Yeah. Because I seen something and it's I forget, is it UK? It was at the UK or I can't remember, but it said he is the Chris Watts of I don't remember if it was the UK or Australia. So I'm assuming that he did the same thing to his family that Chris Watts did. But can you imagine just being known for what you did to your family, even in other countries? You know, that's how big this case was. That's how big it was. Yep. Control the narrative. Yep. Yep. And thank you, Miss E. This is Miss Unjustified's channel. This is her video. She done so much work on the Chris Watts case. She used to have Watts Wednesdays. You could go on there and see some of her Watts Wednesdays videos. She did so much work on it. And I've known Miss Kim for a long time, and I'm one of her mods and her members. So I reached out to her because I knew she'd be the best person, her and Cher, to get Watts stuff from. So yes, please go visit Miss Kim if you want Watts and I'm not moving fast enough, or you want to see something specific. She's got some great videos. She does. Yep. And I thank y'all for coming in. I appreciate it. Thank y'all. There he is rocking again. You know how hard it would be to be a police officer? He's probably texting Nicole.
He doesn't know how many she has.
MK, probably.
We have the same debit cards, the same like.
These are your debit cards?
Yeah, those are the same account. So.
Be hard for them to keep a poker face and not look at him like we know you did it.
Your kids have like a favorite pair of shoes that they normally wear? Favorite pair of shoes? Yeah, no. They have all their shoes in the closet right here. Do you know which ones they normally wear? Whatever they want to wear, they just pick your shoes and go through them. Fellas on this side, CC's on that side.
Your kids take any medication?
CC takes Singulair and Omeprazole.
How often?
Singulair is every night for allergies, Omeprazole for like the acid reflux. One of them on inhalers? They haven't done it since they got back. I think it might have ran out because the last one I saw had 0 on it, so we hadn't refilled that one yet. From North Carolina? Yep. And when did you guys get back? I think it was, I went back to work on the 8th, so we got back on the 7th. And then she left hers on Friday. We got back last night.
And she had the kids with her last night?
Yes.
Or you had the kids?
Well, I had the kids like all weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. They went to a birthday party yesterday over at my friend's house down the street. And then, is someone sleeping in the basement? I did a few times. The separation thing. But
How recent?
Probably about a night ago, yeah, well, when she was here, so probably last time was Thursday night, Friday.
And then the kids, do they sleep in their own beds?
Yes,
or do
it's
they sleep in yours?
those two big rooms are connected to that bathroom.
You what?
I'll go right look here right now. I know. So like when she got back from the airport last night, usually like she just jumped in the bed. So like most of the time when she does that, she'll want to wash the sheets the next day to get the airport off them since she just came off the airport. That's the only thing I can think of.
But they were still on it when she was in
she
bed
was
when
in
you left?
bed. Yeah.
So you were in that bed last night?
Yeah. I was up there because the monitor and stuff was up there. I was waiting for her to get back home.
And then she works from home? Is that right?
Yeah, direct sales. Yeah, she works from phone, anything, computer.
And then is that the office she uses for work?
Oh, she can do anywhere in here. She's on the couch.
Oh, okay. She doesn't have like a designated day.
She can go anywhere.
You can't get them anywhere.
Let's see what Ladybug said. They had the most clean and Yep, I've ever seen, almost to a fault. The basement was also organized. I know we were talking about that too, Ladybug. How we were like, she was just so organized that, we can't imagine her leaving her bed unmade, or the office in a mess. I mean, those are just things you don't do. If you're that organized, you're not going to leave one thing undone or not done. We were talking about how she would have, stripped the bed and put clean sheets on it and made it before she left. And if she was leaving him, then she would have just made it and not worried about it. But she wouldn't have stripped the bed down, and just left it unmade. And we were talking about that earlier, and how even the basement, her garage basement was organized. It's like, if you even have your basement organized, you're like one of those organized people. How we were like, she should have done that for a living. She probably could have made money off of that, as organized as she was. Yep, he sure is. He sure is. He's trying to get them out of there. But that's why when you see when we get to the dog, where the dog is searching, the office is a mess. It's like stuff all over the floor. And it's like, that would not be. That would not be. Especially her office where she keeps her work stuff at. It just wouldn't be. Yeah. Yeah, no way. And that's why I was saying, and we also were talking about earlier how Nicole Atkins she threw a wrench in it because she was worried about her friend. So she called in a wellness check. Well, their plans was probably to go back and make the bed, make it look like she just got up and made the bed, and not leave things undone. But because Nicole called for a welfare check, they couldn't go back and clean up. They couldn't go back and make the bed. They couldn't go back, and make sure the kids' beds were made, because the kids' beds weren't made either. So they couldn't go back and make sure they were made. They couldn't go back and just make things out of place. They had to go back and put everything back how she would do it. But Nicole Atkins messed that up because she called in for a welfare check. So because I feel like when he left, somebody was going to come back and do that for him, or he was going to come back and do it, but they were going to have that time to do it and then report her missing. You know what I mean? So that was and they wouldn't have thrown stuff in the trash can out in the garage to be found either, so I think she really did it. She really stood up. She's really an advocate for at least him getting arrested. I mean, there needs to be more people, in my opinion, behind bars, but yep, that office. Yeah. because I think if you remember right, Ladybug, because I'm trying to remember if I got it in the right sequence. Like when they're looking, the floor is clean. But when the dog comes back, so this will be after they leave, Chris is still free to do what he wants to. And during this time when they leave and when the dog comes in, that office is searched and it is made a mess of. Somebody searched that office at some point looking for something. And if I remember correct, somebody said they thought that Shanann had money hidden in there that she was hiding so she could leave, but I doubt that was a thing. But anyway, I don't know what they were looking for other than they were looking for an insurance policy or something on Shanann or something. Not quite sure why they would be searching, but that office was tore up and Shanann would not have left it tore up unless they come in there. She was trying to hide from them and they tore it up getting to her. But if I remember correct, at this point, the office isn't a mess. It's only a mess after the dogs come back. Yeah, she changed her user ID. She changed it. Yep. Because he couldn't get in there.
No, I go for runs. He doesn't really go for do anything as far as going for walks or anything.
You talk to all the friends you guys have around the area.
Yes, he was arrested like 3 days later, I think 3 or 4 days later. Yeah, before the dogs come in there, right. The office was like that. When the dog came in there, that office was a mess. So I think it happened between this time right here and the dogs coming in. I think it happened in that, there was a period there where he had the house where he could stay there that night or he could not, and he ended up staying with his friend. So there was some period of time there that he had the house to himself, free and running in and out. And I think that's when I do remember when this first happened. I watched the interview he did and spoke about what his daughter said to him before doing what he did. And I couldn't watch anything. Yeah. When she asked him, yeah, are you going to do that to me? Is that the time? Is that the one you're talking about when she said, are you going to do that to me too? Yeah. I just don't. What kind of a monster not that, okay, see if I can put it where it's not sounding like one is okay over the other. I can see you having less maybe remorse for doing something to a spouse. Like, even though you love them with all your heart and everything, but I can't see you being that cold to your own kids. There's a difference there. Not that either one is correct. You know what I mean? But it's bad enough that you would do it to your spouse, but then that you would either do it or allow it to be done to your children. You know what I'm saying? Because I honestly believe that someone else, I'm not saying he didn't help with that, but I believe someone else led in that. But as far as Shanann, yeah, he did that for sure. 100%. He did that for sure. Shanann. Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm. Yeah. This case is so, 450,000 consistent, $300 for Shan and 75. Yeah. And her parents got that. Her parents got the life insurance policies, and I believe Chris's parents were mad about that. But I'm not sure. but I think that's what happened. Yeah, but he killed him. So her parents got it, I think. Yeah, and he was the beneficiary. Yeah. Yeah. So not that killing your spouse is any better than anything, or anything worse or anything better. It's just that there's a different level of monster there, I think. Both of them, he's a monster for both, doing both. But I don't know. I just, if your child said that to you, you would think it would wake you up or something. I don't know. Well, it may not have to him. That might have been a clause in there. But I do know that I'm pretty sure her parents got it. I'm almost positive that her parents got it. I'm almost positive that they got it, because I think the Watts were upset because they didn't get any, and I'm like, well, I can see it because it's their daughter. Right. And they were the next of kin, right. And he was out of it because he was in prison or in jail, but her parents was her next of kin, and his parents were not, because they were actually her parents. So yeah, that's my understanding, Ronnie. I'm pretty sure they got it after the funeral services and all that was paid for. I think they paid for all that out of that. I think they're the ones that got it. Pretty sure they are.
This morning, yes, it was about selling the house and separation. How did she take that? They were both pretty emotional, both crying. And then did you see her before you went to work? Did you say anything to her? Well, she went back, like, when she told me she was going to go to a friend's house and see her kids. Take the kids with her. Oh, she told you she was taking the kids? Yeah. Yeah. She didn't say anything. Oh, no.
I just have to interject here. She is not going to tell him she's going to go to a friend's house. She would tell him to go. She would tell him to go. She would not say, I'm going to a friend's house, because he worked anyway. So why would she take the kids out of the house and say, I'm going to a friend's house? Even for a play date, I don't think she would do that. I don't think she would do that. Then being next of kin, I believe, was deliberate, done by. Yeah. Yeah, she was getting to where she didn't trust him on a lot of things, I believe. And she might have changed stuff while she was in North Carolina, just like she did with her username, because he couldn't get into the accounts, like the bank accounts and stuff, because she changed her username. So he couldn't get into any of that stuff. Yeah, so it wouldn't surprise me if she didn't change it. Yeah.
No, but she was still in bed when that happened. Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 a.m. I woke up about 4 o'clock. 1:48. Oh yeah, like I was passed out when she got home. Yeah, when I got up. Yeah.
So if he was passed out when she got home, how does he know exactly what time she got home? He just said, I was passed out when she got home. And he's like, when did you speak to her? When I woke up. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it like over a text or over a phone call. I wanted to be face to face with her.
Really?
How long did that conversation last? About 30, 45 minutes. And you went to work? I left about 5:15, 5:30, right in that time frame. She said she was going to the friend's house with kids. So she was still here when I left.
You went to a job site or you went to the main plant, or where'd you go?
I went to location first,
Where was that at?
by Hudson, over there, east of Hudson.
And there was someone there at the time when you got there?
No. One of the operators, he had an issue there on Friday, left and run over the weekend. I went over there just to kind of verify what kind of issue he was having, see if I could fix it. Then we went to a pumping unit across the ranch over there. Went over there most of the day. That's when I got the phone calls and text messages and everything more.
You guys on like Counter 49? Where you guys at?
Oh, like, like Rockinwood? Yep. Yeah, out there.
Who's ranch you on?
Service.
What kind of tools did you have to load up?
It was just mainly I got my water bottles, my water jug, my computer, book bags. I had my containers full of just
I try to listen to words because words are so important, and how people say stuff. And if you don't, they say it, but they mean it in a different way. But if you don't really catch it, you don't. But I mean, if he knew exactly what time she got there, but yet he slept, he was passed out asleep and didn't talk to her. And I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. I think so. I think she did, Ronnie, because she had been talking with Nicole and she had made a couple of comments. And there's some text messages, and I'll find those that she had been texting back and forth. I believe not to Nicole, well, maybe to Nicole too, but also to her other friend. And she thought there was somebody else because he wasn't treating her the same. And she had written him a letter. It was really sad. The letter she read him. The letter she wrote him was really sad. That she wrote Chris. And so I think that and I had said that earlier, that I think that she almost had, while she was gone and in North Carolina, I think she had Nicole maybe kind of checking on him from time to time, because she was gone for like 5 weeks, 6 weeks. And I think Nicole might have saw him and told her. And then she found, like right before she came back, he had taken NK to eat, and she got the alert on her phone saying so much money was spent at, I can't remember the name of the pub. It's like a pub. And she texted him a message, and she's like, why did it cost you this much to eat at so-and-so place? And he's like, well, I ate with a friend or something and I paid for it or something like that. Somebody from work or something like that. And I think that when he did that, she's seen those charges and he did that finally for her said, I think there's somebody else. So then I think that's when she changed her stuff. Because he told him earlier, not in this interview, but the other interview when they were upstairs, he's like, I know the password, but I don't know her user ID because she changed it. So yeah, she was very smart in her doing that. Yeah. Yeah, I think she did too. I agree with you, Ladybug. I think she did too. I think she, had that sinking feeling that it was already going on. But I think that was kind of a confirmation for her, and she changed it. So he couldn't get in there. Yeah. Because he said, because I played it back. I'm like, did he say that because she changed it? And because you know how he mumbles. And so I had to send it back and play it again. And it was like, because I don't know her user ID because I can't get in there because she changed it. And I'm like, yep, that's what he said. Yeah. No, she wasn't dumb. Yeah. Yeah. She, and I think she knew, like I said, Ronnie, I think she knew before then. I think she was trying to save it, save what they had. being, having baby Nico coming. I think she was trying to save it for all of them, but I think she knew. That's why they were going to put the house up for sale. I think she knew there was just nothing she could do, you know. So, but she herself didn't realize when she did it that she was making it harder for them too. She didn't realize that she was helping her own solve her own murmur. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
O-ring, all that stuff, just putting it all in there because I took it out all out. I'll just like on the Monday, like after I get all that stuff, because I had an issue where somebody stole all my tools out of my truck. My pipe wrenches are gone, my socket set's gone, what else? My wrench set's gone. Like we had an issue. That's why I parked my truck in front of the neighbor's house for like a few days, just to see if like I could see if anybody was breaking it, trying to break it.
Okay, here's my opinion on that. I got a lot of opinions on Chris Watts. If somebody's going to steal your tools, and don't get me wrong, tools are expensive. They're expensive, and they cost a lot of money, and it takes a while to build tools up, especially if tools is part of your job. But if somebody's going to take tools, they're not going to take 2 or 3. They're going to load up whatever they can of yours. They're not just going to take 2 or 3. So I don't think anybody took anything out of his truck. That's my opinion. That was a pretty good neighborhood. That was a pretty nice neighborhood for people to be stealing stuff. And the other thing on that is Nate's camera picked up everything. So if somebody had stole something out of his truck where it was parked at, Nate's camera would have got it. And all he had to do was go over and ask Nate for footage. Because Nate said he always parks his truck out there, and it's always in my camera view. He said that's how I knew they parked Shanann's car out there. For like 2 or 3 days, Shanann's car was parked on the street. Well, why do you think he did that? So he could put NKs in the garage. So nobody knew her car was there. So he put Shanann's out on the street and put NKs in the garage. So nobody knew she was there. That would explain why her car was out there on the street for 2 or 3 days. He was hiding NK there. Yeah, I can't. It's their volume. I've got mine all the way up, and it's Chris. He is the only one that we can't hear very well, is Chris. I can hear the officers real well, but I can't hear him well. And I've got it turned up, and I've got hers turned up. I will see, though, if I can I will see if I can put the closed caption on. Yeah, I just don't see nobody stealing anything out of his vehicle. I don't see it. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing that I think, we're talking about evidence in the case. That's the other thing that I think where a lot of evidence is that we won't see is Nate's evidence. Because if he had, we do see some of the evidence that Nate has. Do you think that's all Nate has? Do you think that is all the evidence Nate has for them? If his camera records all the time and records that good, that is not all the evidence he has. And it's also not all the evidence Vivint has, in my opinion. I think they've got more too. The security system. I think they got more too. So that stuff we're not going to see because Nate probably has days prior, depending on how much his camera, like mine will save, I think it's 3 to 5 days or something like that. Maybe it's 7 days. I can't remember, but so they'll save so many days, and then you either have to save it yourself, like put it on a thumbnail drive or something like that. So if I had a big, nice house like that and I had a security system, I believe I would, if it was something that important, I believe I would be saving it, if it was of interest. So I think there's evidence that the security system people have, and I think there's evidence that Nate had that we're not going to see. Of him dragging Shanann to the car. Yeah. A comment her dad made in his impact statement. Okay. We'll have to play his impact statement on here too. Do you think by that statement he made that she was taking out the back? Some people do come off as guilty, but later it turns out they aren't. But Chris, no way. Yeah, he looked guilty. Yeah. For the word get go. Yeah. And you know what else? I don't know how they hid it. I mean, you got to really have a poker face as a cop when you get into a situation like this, as to not just look at him like, I know you did it. I know you did it, you jerk. I know you did it. You know what I mean? It's got to be hard to keep that poker face to not let him know you suspect him. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But I think they got way more footage than we'll ever know, because that's part of the reason Chris. And the footage, I'm surprised we got to see what we got to see, like the footage of Nate had of him backing into the garage. I'm really surprised that we even got that much. And her going up to the door and looking down at her phone. I'm surprised we have as much as we have. I'm really surprised.
It was my fault. I left it unlocked. So, as far as the toolbox on the back.
So on the weekend you download your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Monday you
Oh yeah, I just put all that in. Just to kind of get everything out of my truck, clean it out a little bit from the whole week, so it gets filthy in there.
You guys lived here since 2012 or a different house?
No, like so 2012 we moved here, lived in a friend's basement in Broomfield,
Okay.
and we closed on this house. It was built 2013 May.
Does she have any other friends in this neighborhood?
No, I mean we haven't many people around here honestly.
Mostly in Erie,
Yeah,
Broomfield.
Erie, Broomfield, Frederick.
Where at? Frederick.
So we had they just lived up here in Frederick Way. They actually just moved down to Thornton. Nick didn't manage there.
Okay.
Nikki, she lives up. The one that was here, she lives in Frederick.
Going to drop her off.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, she lives like where they're building that new stoplight out. That's where it's over there.
Right. Okay. You have no idea of which frame. Do all your frames pretty much have kids the same age? It's hard to.
It's really hard. I mean, I've exhausted every option I know of as far as friends goes, like making more of them because she's a woman, and that's as far as we can go as far as all the friends that we can go.
Alright. So if you talk to some of her friends, tell them that we're looking for her, and we just need to make sure that she's okay, and she can call us. She doesn't have to call you.
They might be covering up. You know, you're trying to get a hold of her and she don't want to talk to you. We'll have them refer her to us if they know where she's at. Is what he's saying.
Just so whatever's going on between you guys, that's between you guys. If she doesn't want to talk to you, that's fine. We just don't want to waste resources looking for her if she's actually okay. So, like, if you can relay to the friends, they understand.
Dieter's back there on the steps. Look.
If she doesn't want to talk to us, at least have her call the police so that they know she's okay. Thank you. Does that make sense? Yeah. That way that we know that she's okay and whatever's going on between you guys in case. Okay. Do you have any questions for us before we get out of here?
I mean, call area hospitals, call hotels. I mean,
Someone said she was diabetic.
she had friend Kathy in Arizona, she's a nurse, and she had low blood sugar when she was down there. That's why I brought that up.
Oh. She never had seizures or blacked out or anything, no friend.
It was just like, that was a long time ago before I even met her. She had a horrific car accident. I think she might have blacked out or had a seizure that she couldn't really figure it out. Like she just had a car accident. She just flew out of the car.
You have his contact info?
Yeah.
Or I think the detective did.
Yeah, Dave got all of it.
Okay. And if you hear, you get
Thank you so much for watching, and do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave us a comment below on your thoughts of this video. And until next time, this is Unjust. Welcome to
I'll move that down. Get out of the way. There we go. So that's the end of that one. Let's see. Right. Over his job site. Yep, they did. Oh, hi, Vanilla Bean. Yeah, Ladybug is correct. That is correct. They did. They found her in a shallow grave. I can't remember how many feet, but it was at his job site. It was like so many feet away from the old tanks that they found the little babies in, the kids in, the girls. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I think they wouldn't have been so easily found had, Nicole not come in and messed that up. You know what I mean? She kind of threw a wrench in there and she interrupted them in finishing what they were going to do. Because I think for sure there was going to be some more work done, like somebody's going to come in and make the bed and do all of that and then say she was gone. So we will go over more. I want to try to get the footage of the dogs. I want to bring the dog footage in. I want us to look at that. Yep. Right. And there's no telling, like, I don't know how many days they would have been able to get away with it. Cause for sure Shanann's mom might have wanted to know where she's at. Hey, and Nicole, if she wasn't, just say she didn't ask for a welfare check that day, she probably would have in the next day or two. She probably would have pretty quickly come in and asked for a welfare check for her friend if she hadn't heard from her. People, because she was always on that phone working. So her boss probably would have got suspicious. So they wouldn't have had a lot of time, but I think they would have had enough time to make the beds, and get rid of her cell phone and get rid of the things that would have made them say, well, she's not going to leave without that stuff. I think they would have had probably a day to make that happen, and they would have done it. And then there wouldn't have been as many questions. It would have took them a little longer, but I think they would have figured out that he was lying. But I think she did a great job in screwing it up for him. I think so. Absolutely. What do y'all think? Do y'all think she was instrumental in getting him? The cat's trying to walk all over my thing. Do y'all think she was instrumental in getting him and caught sooner? Yeah. Yeah, I do too. And she probably knows a lot more about the case than we ever will. Most probably, bless her heart, she probably has to live with a lot of things that we don't know about. And I think, I don't know. And because we don't know everything, I guess I guess I'm speaking from what we do know and what we all suspect. Well, I can't say all, but what a lot of us suspect is I have a problem with them living with the fact that he most probably did not do this by himself, because I don't think he had time from the time that was allotted to the time that they were put there. I don't think he would have had enough time to do all that by himself. If you go by the time they give you, the 5:30 time frame, he wouldn't have had time to do that, because in the video, it looks like there's a shadow of a little girl that he bends down and picks up. So with that being in mind, and the little bit we know, it looks like he had help. So as a prosecutor and lawyers and stuff, I don't know how you live with the fact that there's other people out there that could be guilty, or at least one more person out there that could be guilty of murdering a whole family, and you're okay with them walking the street. From what we see and know, that's how it looks to us. Like everybody feels like, or most people feel like, it's more than one person. So I don't know how you can live with yourself if you know different. If you know he's not the only one, you know what I mean? Like, and I know they say, well, you got to dance with the devil, or you got to do one to get the other. You got to do this to get the other. But I just don't see how you can make a deal for somebody if they possibly had something to do with it. That's, if I'm explaining it how I feel, if I'm explaining it correctly. She was pregnant and very responsive. Yeah, there is no way her family would have believed she left Chris to calm down. Yep, without telling her mother. Yep. Right. She wouldn't have she would have told him, hey, you go. You go find somewhere to stay. I'm not taking the girls, and, I'm not being displaced. You are, because you're the one that's screwing around, not me. Right. And I believe she did. And there are some text. I'm pretty sure there's Nicole and to the, I can't remember her friend's name. I have to look it up. Yeah. I think she did too. No, I don't think he did alone either. Ronnie, I was going to a couple of years ago when it happened, and I just couldn't do it because I felt like it was too early, because there was such trauma in it for Shanann and the girls. Like, it was like, because when you do reading, sometimes for me, it's kind of like making that spirit relive that, even though they don't have feelings or anymore, it's like making them relive that. And so I was trying to be, since it was so horrific, I was trying to be respectful of it, and let time pass. And I've been thinking about doing a reading on it and how I would approach it, like the different ways I could approach it. So I've got a couple of different readings I'm going to do on it, and I'm going to approach it into the level of maybe not talking directly to them, but just talking about what happened, if that makes sense. Like, you can talk directly to spirits and ask them what happened to them, or you can talk and ask what happened. So I think maybe now that I've given it a respectful time to pass, I think I probably can do one now. The fact that, deleted everything, Chris, from her phone is, yes, it is a big red flag. Yeah, they just ignored it. I mean, like, it's just, she's like, yeah, because when I found out he did that, I deleted all my stuff. Okay, if you were innocent, you would keep that stuff so you could turn it into the police and say, look, I'm innocent in this. This is what he was sending me, and I was sending him back. You know, if you were innocent, right? You wouldn't care if they seen your stuff. But she's not innocent. And then her dad goes with her to one of the interviews. You are grown. You are grown. Why is your daddy going with you to interview? Why? You know what I'm saying? Why? Right. They could get it back. They probably know exactly everything she said. Everything. And somebody said that she was threatening people. Oh, where you're talking about me, I'm gonna get you for harassment. Well, your name is not Nicole Kessinger anymore. You changed it. So since your name is not Nicole Kessinger anymore, I can talk about you because that's not your name anymore. Right. So even though she isn't paying for any part of that, I think public opinion has probably not been the best for her. I don't feel like she's had it smooth sailing this whole time, but I do feel like she should still I still think she should do time. Maybe just find out if he had help. Yep. And I feel like he did. Because I've always felt like definitely he was Shanann's demise, you know, but I always felt like, because especially one of the things he said in one of his interviews, he said, I can't believe she put her hands on my kids, on my girls, or on my kids. So Shanann didn't do that. So I kind of, when he said that, I feel like he was talking about NK. That, and then I just feel like she's the one. Just feel like she's the one. Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's the truth. Yeah, it is the truth. Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like, and he did say that, and I was shocked when he said that. I can't believe she put her hands on my girls. And then when he said that, they kind of led him into the lie, because they said Shanann, and he just kind of said, yeah, but that's not what he meant. He meant, for me, he meant NK, but they led him into the answer. And I'm like, they just led him into, just don't say anything. Just let him finish who he's talking about. But you know what I mean? And I can't remember if that was when his dad was in the room or not. But he said, I can't believe she put her hands on my kids. And I know he's not talking about Shanann. So, but they led him into that's where the Shanann, she was hurting my kids and I hurt her. That's where that came in, because they gave him the idea. They led him into it. They led him into that explanation. So, yeah, in my opinion. But I want to go, I want to get to the dog search, because I don't think that the dog handler, and I know I put it in this description, but I wasn't able to get to it. I know that the dog handler, in my opinion, didn't allow her dog to do what it needed to do. So I think that was real sad too, because it alerted outside and it also alerted in the basement. And she just kept telling her to be quiet, be quiet. And I'm like, that's why your dog is there. That's what your dog trained for. Why are you telling her to be quiet? So I want to look at that footage again and then start going into the interviews of him being at the after they arrest him. I want to look into that too. So yeah, that's going to be, and I will have, since we're already almost in the next week, which is tomorrow, well, in a couple hours, I'll probably be going live like probably Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Right. Something happened in the basement. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. You know, he told them he slept down there because of the separation, but I think he was sleeping down there with NK instead of like when she was staying there, they wasn't sleeping upstairs because of the girls. When he came back, like the one night that he was back and he had the kids that weekend, because before he didn't have anybody there because they were in North Carolina, but I think they both were. I think he was sleeping down in the basement with her, but I do think something happened in the basement. Something happened in the basement or something was kept in the basement. That's what I think. And they carried something out the back. They carried something out that back because there's no cameras back there, because you hear Chris say that. And when he's talking to him at one time, he's like, well, if she went out the front, we would know it. But if she went out the back, we wouldn't because there's no cameras back there. Why would you even say that? You know she's not going to go out the back. And then have to come all the way around to the front and get her vehicle? Why would she do that? She would have to park her vehicle in the back, drag the kids all the way through around to the front, and then when she got ready to leave, go back out the back. But the door was locked, so she'd have to go out the front and go all the way through the yard, and you would still see her because the back door was locked. So if she was going out the sliding door to park her car back there, she couldn't lock the door from the inside. And if she went out the front door, but went out the back, you're going to see her. The only way she could go out the back and the door be locked is if she went out the back and somebody behind her locked it. And if she was the only one there, nobody's going to do that. So I was like, that's dumb. So yeah, it made no sense. So either way, she'd be caught because she'd have to go out the front to lock the inside from the back. That would defeat the purpose of going out the back. I can't. I can't with the dumbness. It's dumb. So yeah, makes no sense. So everybody, thank you for coming. I do appreciate you. I started early tonight because I have to get up fairly early tomorrow. So I wanted to make sure I got my live in. So I do appreciate y'all stopping by. We are going to, like I said, probably Wednesday, Thursday. Probably Wednesday or Thursday. I'll get another live in here. Let's see. He knew where his truck was in the driveway, the Ring doorbell, and said, yep, he didn't count on Nate's. Right. And see, he don't ever talk to his neighbors. So he doesn't know what their cameras pick up and what they don't. He wasn't thinking, if I park Shanann's car out on the road, somebody's going to see that on their camera and have it, because they're going to ask him if, just say Nate had that footage, they're going to say, well, why did you have Shanann's car parked out on the road for like 3 or 4 days? Well, somebody saw her car parked out there and told Shanann, your car's parked out on the road. Plus, somebody said it in one of the interviews, I can't remember, that her car was parked out there and they didn't know why her car was parked there. Well, it was parked out there because Kay's was in the garage. And he didn't want nobody to know she was spending the night. That's why. Sneaky, or he thought he was being sneaky. Somebody's always watching. Somebody's always watching. Yep. Nate's cameras, like you said, Ladybug, Nate's cameras got more, and he didn't know it because he don't talk to his neighbors. So he don't know what kind of cameras they have, how they record or where they're pointing to. He don't know. So, yep. Always watching. Yep. Somebody's watching. Yep. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining. I appreciate y'all. I do hope y'all have a great rest of the night wherever you're at. Stay warm or stay cool, wherever it may be where you're at. And I will see y'all. Maybe I might go live on the Looking Glass this week too. Maybe a coffee break morning or something. I was thinking about doing that, coming in the morning, just like a coffee break morning. We'll see. We'll see if I can work it in there. So, but everyone have a wonderful night. Thank you for dropping by, and please come aboard in the next few days. We'll go back to Watts Island. If there's anything specific you want me to look at in Watts Island, let me know. Drop it in the comments or send me a message. Or we'll just keep going with the footage. But if there's something specific you want to look at next time, just drop it and I'll try to find it so we can look at it, and then we'll continue on with what we're doing. Yes, good night. Please, I appreciate that. Yes, thank you, Ladybug. What'd you say? We go out in the middle of the desert and think we're alone. They look, yep, people on the mountains watching us. Ooh, scary. Scary. Scary, scary stuff. All right, everybody. Thank y'all for joining me. You love the police footage? Okay. Okay. I want to do the dogs too. I want to go over that dog footage. There is so much, Ronnie. Oh my gosh, there is so much. It's just crazy how much stuff is on there. I mean, we can probably go for the next year with just solid stuff on the Watts. So there's plenty of it for us to go through. Plenty of it. And go back through, and see what we didn't see before, hear what we didn't hear before. Because I didn't hear before the taxi thing. So that's really interesting that he would even mention a taxi. I can't see Shanann taking a taxi. Unless she felt really, really bad and she just couldn't drive. But then I would think she would call Nicole or one of her other friends to take her to the doctor. I can't see her taking a taxi. I can't see it. I could be wrong, but I can't see it. So, all right, everybody. Good night. Good night. Y'all have a pleasant evening. I love y'all. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't subscribed to the Looking Glass, go over there and subscribe. I'm starting to put out videos, missing videos once a week. I got a couple in the works that getting ready to go up. I got another project going on. I'm not sure when I can put that out there. But it's should be coming up pretty here shortly. It's not on my channel, it's someone else's that I'm going to be featured on, but we'll see whenever that can be released. So everyone have a wonderful night. Thank you to all my mods. I appreciate and love you all. Please come back and see me again. I appreciate you. Love y'all. Good night.